The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Hello and welcome inside week 2 of the Mike Clowney Show. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier, alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Clowney as Carson-Newman opens the doors to Berktar Stadium, victorious over the Franklin Pierce Ravens. Final score, 27-6. Mike Clowney, phenomenal performance. Defensively dominant and played keep away. Absolutely owned time of possession in a low possession game to leave no doubt and stiff arm the Ravens to the finish. What'd you see out of your team, especially after halftime with an overwhelmingly dominant third quarter?
I'm super proud of the way the guys came back after halftime. To be able to come back, score, get a stop, score, create something. It was like all three phases of the game. We were able to kind of stop them defensively, get a score offensively. Special teams created an opportunity for us, and we were able to score again. So to come back from halftime and be able to put that together that quick, I was super proud of the way they responded.
Started fast, really all the way around. Took the opening kickoff, put together a 50-yard drive that did stall out, but shows you the importance of what having a good kicker can do. Nate Kraft becomes the fourth guy in program history with multiple 50-yard field goals in a career and gives you the lead right from the jump.
It's good for Nate to come out. First kick, first series that he's with us, to be able to have a PR too. It's a personal record for him, but also just to be able to kind of start the game off with a drive. That's where the offensive guys challenged me, Friday. Like, hey, coach, can we take the ball? And so, we went in and we did that, and, for them to be able to kind of put a 50-yard drive together, put points on the board to get us a lead at the very beginning of the game is something I think that was important for us.
I'm going to go two things here. One, PR. I didn't know this was a cross-country track show.
I stole that from David. Every time we look up the track score, everybody, it's PR day, so we got PR today.
Second, it's an interesting thought about the coin toss. Your teams have been, almost 50-50 in whether you go receive or defer. And this one purely, hey, we want the ball.
Yeah. For 100 years around here, we've taken the football, the first position of the game, and everybody's known it. And we're probably the only team in the country that ever does that. And so there's a little bit of that mystique and pride from the offensive side of we've always done that. We want to continue to do that. But, I think, my best philosophy is if you can get a stop, put points on the board, and still get the ball second half, I think that's great. And sometimes you just have a feel there's something going on. One thing that helped make that easy yesterday, too, we wanted the ball, and then, it's supposed to be a rainy day, and we kick off and it's clear, so you go ahead and take advantage of having clear weather at the beginning of the game because you don't know what could be going on in the second half. So there's always some type of little philosophy there.
Nice to see the Ken Sparks rain clears before kickoff follows the chair a little bit. It was nasty in the morning. Thought you might have to play through weather, but outside of an occasional drizzle, really didn't have to test yourselves there too much.
Yeah, so I think that's what we talk to our kids about. You prepare for the worst and hope for the best, and fortunately yesterday we got the best.
Carson-Newman gets the win over the Franklin Pierce Ravens, 27-6 on opening day at Berktar Stadium. We'll break down the first half when we get back after these messages. This is the Mike Clowney Show.
Sure, we've been around a while, 171 years to be exact. We know the power of a liberal arts-based Christian education and the tremendous potential of what can be found on this campus, within this community. We are adventurers, dreamers, believers, passionate and compassionate, curious and clever, driven by a common purpose towards a common goal.
I found my passion.
I found purpose.
We are Carson-Newman.
What will you find?
Back on the Mike Clowney Show, Carson-Newman victorious over the Franklin Pierce Ravens in Week 2 of the season, 27-6. Adam Cavalier, Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Clowney. It is his show. You look at that first half. Scored on the first possession, had some grinded out type drives to put points on the board. And even though you won the field position battle on the day by a pretty significant margin, you're still sticking in the end zone on drives that were longer than 80 yards. Last week against West Georgia, you said you wanted to see offensive consistency. What did you see from that group? An 85-yard drive, a 95-yard drive, all for 6.
I think, we got a couple third down situations and we were able to make plays and keep the chains moving. And I think that's something that you have to be able to do to be successful long term. And I thought that was one of the things that we were able to kind of do a little bit better than we did the week before. I know that out of the get-go, we're saying, here we go, third and long. We can catch the out route to Braxton Westfield, keep the chains moving. And so that was something that is good because what it does is, it burns clock. It keeps the defense off the field. And, it gives you time to make adjustments, time to kind of, get those guys rested up to where when they get back on the field, they should be a little bit more energetic and ready to go.
Really is an interesting game. You look at the final score, see 27-6, and it felt like more was done than that. But a low possession game, you only touched the football 10 times, owned the football for more than 35 minutes, and had scoring attempts on more than half your drives. You have a turnover on downs, you're in the game with the football after keeping it for 6 minutes. Glass half full, glass half empty. Where are you with that performance? You had to kick 3 field goals. It feels weird to try to figure out the balance of what the offense did.
Yeah, I think, a lot of, it goes back to the beginning of the game. I think, a couple times we've got drives going and then we stall out and we do have to kick field goal. We kick field goal, the 51-yarder that Nate made. We come down here and we get one block. So those drives, you really want to finish those with touchdowns. And now when you get into the second half, the thing that was cool is you do something that you really want to do there is you really want to shorten the game. And to put a 95-yard drive together, to where you primarily run the football, you got control of the possession, control of that quarter, shorten the game, give them less opportunity to be able to kind of get back into the game. So that's where I think that balance is. We need to early in the game score touchdowns to kind of put that game a little bit further out of reach earlier. But in the second half, I think is exactly what you want. I mean, you want to be able to grind the ball out and, keep them off the field.
Did something that you haven't done in a minute. Turnover-free football. Did put the ball on the ground once, but went out of bounds. How gratifying is it to see that be a part of the recipe for winning?
That's something that we have harped on and talked to our kids about, and we've literally worked at it. And just to be able to accomplish that goal, it is a good milestone.
Carson-Newman was up at the halftime break on Franklin Pierce, 13-6, and we take a look at the first half highlights.
At running back, he's to the left of Corbin, double barrel shotgun. Corbin, 3-step drop, back to pass, throws the out to Westfield, left sideline. That's complete, and Westfield slammed out of bounds by Shamil Diaz, and Diaz is going to get a hanky as the result of slinging Westfield out of bounds. It was a first down through the air anyway. Snap comes back, the hold is down. Kraft's kick has the leg. Does it have the line? It does! Nate Kraft, pure from 51. 850-plus yard field goal. And Messina out of the gun. He's pressured. Messina still up. Now he's headed to the turf. Sacked by DeAndre Williams back at the 20 for a loss of 4. Messina from the gun will give Burgess left side. Burgess trying to stretch play. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Eagles read that one. Left, King right, too wide to the right. Corbin takes, gives left side for TJ King. King, good burst ability. He's got the first down and a lot more. Racing along the left sideline, and he's forced out of bounds at midfield by Shamil Diaz. Out to the wide side right. Corbin takes, option to the left. Corbin keeps it, hits at the line, gets the first down to Moore. Corbin, a hurdle along the left sideline, and he's forced out of bounds down at the 29-yard line. Ivan Corbin calls his own number and gets 14. Curtis to either side of Corbin. Corbin takes, throws, left sideline, a fade, high pointing, snatching it. It's Westfield. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Braxton Westfield in single coverage with Tavarius Daniels wins that battle for a 14-yard pitch and catch on the fade and has him. First and 10, Messina. Zone read, didn't read it right. Frank Lee in his grill brings him down for a loss back at the 36, -4 on the play. To his right. Not rookie of the week for the Northeast 10 last week. Messina going to throw the long ball, right sideline. It flutters. It is caught. And did he get in? Yes. Touchdown Ravens. Anthony Anderson across the plane scores on a 39-yard pitch and catch. Corbin gets the snap at the chest. 3-step drop, screen, right side for Curtis. Hurdles the man and has blockers. Curtis across the 45, another hurdle for the first down, and he's waylaid by Stokes as he lands at the 40. TJ King. Messina in the gun, Burgess to his right. Handoff is to Burgess. He's hit in the backfield by Long and dropped for a loss between the hashes back at the 43. A loss of 3 is Ja'Cory Long. Blew up the mesh point, and he blows up. On 4th and 4, Messina short hops a receiver at the 40, and the Ravens turn it over on left. Corbin takes the shotgun snap at the waist. 4-man rush, steps up in the pocket. Corbin rolls right, throws right, has Westfield complete at the 27. Westfield forcing his way out of bounds along the right sideline down to the 22. Boone knocks him out. Westfield 24 yards from the left hash. Hyatt's hold is down. Kraft's kick is on the way, and Kraft's kick is off the facing of the Ken Sparks Athletic Complex. Pure from 24 yards. So Carson-Newman makes it a touchdown lead. High punt. It's way over Benitez's head. Benitez scrambling to grab it. He picks it up back at the 18, and that is where Carson-Newman will take over on downs.
Those are the first half highlights. Eagles led by a touchdown at the break over the Franklin Pierce Ravens. Mike Clowney, you talked, the first things out of your mouth in the post-game radio interview, the halftime talk. Let's revisit that. You've had some time to reflect on the attitudes in the halftime locker room. What'd you see out of your team in those moments that led to the dominant third?
I think them just kind of realizing where we were. We talked earlier about the first half and, what the score was, where you just alluded to. We were up by 7. There's a couple opportunities there to score touchdowns that would kick field goals. And, as a coach, it's always you kind of want to, number one, address the problems and provide a solution, and then encouragement to go do it. And so for me at halftime, it's just like, all right, like the problem is like we're just, we talked earlier, like I don't know if we underestimated them. I thought they got a good football team. And you can see that on film because they play with outstanding effort all the time. And so sometimes it's hard to look at people's record and determine like what's really going on, but they're a hungry football team. And so, they come out and they fought. And but that's why I asked them, they're on the field with the other team more than I am. So that's what the question is like, hey, like where do you think we're at right now? And, to be able to provide the right solution and the right encouragement to go get done what we need to get done. And I think it was Ty Ragland, he immediately said, I'm disappointed with the score. And so, my only thing I said was, so I'm not crazy. Like you feel the way I feel though. So what are we going to go out and do about it in the second half to make it different? And so it's just good when you've got a football team that kind of starting to get it, they're kind of starting to understand. One thing that we always want as coaches, you want your team to think like you think, and it was good to have that moment to where like we're on the same page.
You alluded to Franklin Pierce, losers of 21 straight. Doesn't feel like a team this year for them that's going to allow that losing streak to continue. They will get somebody at some point this year.
I think that's why I talked to Coach. It's all we sat there last year, and it's frustrating. You really want to hear what other people got to say, but an encouraging word I think is always good. I mean, he's got a good football team, and I think they will win at some point this year.
You look at what the defense does after halftime. That is a team that has the Northeast 10's Offensive Player of the Year in E.J. Burgess, and you bottled him up pretty well. Hold him under 70 yards rushing to less than 4 yards a carry. What'd your defense do, especially second half? Granted, they are throwing the ball to try to get back into it more, to keep him away from those 150-yard games he had a year ago.
Yeah. I think, number one, we made some mistakes there in the first half, too. Just kind of getting washed out of gaps, and then linebackers not finding those right places to replace it. I thought Coach Slater and defensive staff did a good job of adjusting calls and fundamental situations to kind of give us a little bit better chance to keep him from getting loose.
Carson-Newman gets the job done over the Franklin Pierce Ravens. Break down the second half after these messages. This is the Mike Clowney Show. All right, back on the Mike Clowney Show, Carson-Newman prevails over the Franklin Pierce Ravens by a final score of 27-6 in Week 2. I'm Adam Cavalier alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Clowney. Mike, a second half that is headlined, one by time of possession, but secondly by your defense. Minus 10 yards rushing for Franklin Pierce after halftime, just 99 yards of total offense. You talked earlier about Larry Slade and some adjustments that the defense made. Just how gratifying is it to see that group be so overwhelmingly there for the final 30 minutes?
I think those guys have worked really, not that we have an offense, but I think they've worked really hard to try to put together some consistency. And I think that's one thing that Coach Slade challenged them with before the game is, going out, having success, sustaining it, and finishing. And so it was good to see them be able to kind of finish, that half with the negative yards rushing.
A lot of guys, really both sides of the football, crazy number of guys making plays. Jake Cottle recovers a fumble. D.D. Brooks is dislodging one. Trezell Giardini-Weish is doing what he's done for half a decade, getting into the backfield. He had 7 different guys rush the football. He had 7 different guys catch passes for the first time in 6 years. And that's without, I hesitate to use the word empty the bench, because you're playing just so many guys from the jump. Break down what it means to get so many different people involved offensively, defensively.
I think it's one thing that, we talked about in the spring is, competing. And, I think we've got a lot of parity on both sides of the ball at a lot of different positions. And so when you work and you compete every day in everything that you do in practice, what should happen is everyone should get better. And so I think the thing that's starting to happen is we're starting to see, those guys kind of competing with one another. And, as coaches, we have to go determine who we're going to put on the field first. But the good thing is being comfortable enough to know that you've got guys behind them that can come in and work and be productive. That's one thing for us as coaches is, getting comfortable to do that. I'll be honest with you, like my assistants are more comfortable with that than I am. Hey guys, who are the best 11? Make sure we got them on the field, But long as they work and make guys earn that opportunity to play, and the opportunity presents itself, then I think it's a good thing for us.
Ivan Corbin, really his first full game in a Carson-Newman jersey as a starter, operates 60 yards rushing, a touchdown, completes 62% of his passing for more than 100 yards, a touchdown. What did you see out of him? I guess we can't say under center anymore from the gun.
It's funny. My son, who's been playing football for 2 months, I walk in the house. He said, "Hey, Dad, I like the quarterback." So I was like, "Okay, really? Like, why?" He's like, "I just like him." And so, but like, just to be able to watch him, he's dynamic with his legs. He's got an arm that he can get the ball out there. Bigger than anything. He's been playing college football for a while, so there's a ton of experience there. Showed a lot of grit, just being able to get in this game and play the way he did.
It kind of developed the stable of running backs. TJ King kind of broke out against West Georgia. Vontae Brackett, significant in-game carries. Tyree Nelson had to sit for a minute, but when he gets in the game, that 95-yard drive, he was crucial. What did you see out of Brackett and Nelson?
I think Coach Weaver's done a really good job with that group. A group that really hadn't played a whole lot at all anywhere. But and we talk about TJ King. Just a testament to taking an off-season program serious. He's a guy that when it was time for voluntary workouts, like he's in here bugging Jeff and those guys every day. He did everything that you could possibly do to get better as a football player. And we talked about, that trust from coaches. Last year, like a couple times on field goal or kicked the ball to him, and oh my goodness, he hadn't played a whole lot of football. But he's put in the work from that point to now. To he's like, we can trust TJ. We believe he'll be able to get done what we need to get done. And then just kind of those other guys being able to come in and out. We talk about that being competitive. I mean, Coach Weaver rolled those guys in and out, and a lot of guys got an opportunity. So whenever you get an opportunity, you better make the most of it. Because there are other guys that can come in that are capable, and we know that.
Carson-Newman gets the job done over the Franklin Pierce Ravens. Final score, 27-6. Here are the second half highlights.
Corbin out of the gun, double barrel. Handoff. No, Corbin keeps it right side. Corbin spins in. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Ivan Corbin on the zone read keeper. Calls his own number and scores from 3 yards out. Carson-Newman with a 2-touchdown lead, 19-6. With 11:31 to double barrel shotgun. Snap back, handoff, Nelson straight ahead. Nelson's got the first down and more. Nelson barreling off defenders between the hashes across the 35 and 40 and wrapped up by Harrison Barholo up at the 46-yard line. Corbin takes the snap, gives King straight ahead. He's got the first down running right hashes. King forces his way down to the 25 before Diaz rips him down. 9 yards on the dive to King out of the pistol. Corbin is in the gun. He takes the snap and hands off right side. Nelson bounces out of a tackle, now kicks it to the left. Gets a block from Corbin. Nelson sprung free to the 5, to the house. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Tyree Nelson is running into the parking lot to the ambulance after housing it from 15 yards out on a broken play. Started right, had to kick it back to the left, got a block from Corbin, and won the foot race to the pylon for the score. 26-6, Eagles by 20 with 2:26 to play in the third.
Excellent work there
on that
by
possession. First and 10 Ravens from their own 25 as Messina is back to pass. Pressured from behind by Weiss, doesn't matter. Hits a man in stride on the right sideline, and he fumbles the football. Howard got hit from behind, and the Eagles think they are Johnny on the spot. A battle between Howard and an Eagle for the football. And out of the pile is Jake Cottle. Carson-Newman football. Ravens zone 48. Messina from the pistol. Takes the snap, play fake to Burgess. He's back to pass, pressured by Weiss. Dives at his feet and takes him to the turf. Trezell Giradini Weiss now into the top 20 all time. Play coming up, 3rd and 9. Whitson back to pass, evades pressure, dumps right side, complete to Brackett. He's got the first down. Brackett Stop and start move left down to the 42 of Franklin Pierce. Whitson, 3rd and 12 out of the double barrel. Gives Nelson right side. Nelson hits the hole and gets down to the 27-yard line just inside the right hashes. Sorella knocks him down, and the final ticks will roll off the clock in this one after a 4-yard Nelson run. The Eagles get the job done in the home opener. Carson-Newman victorious to start the season in the home confines for a 4th time in 5 years. And the orange-clad Eagles firing up the crowd for a 27-6 win. Eagles play keep away in the second half and get the job done. 27-6 over the Franklin Pierce Ravens.
All right, back on the Mike Clowney show. That means it's Talon Talk time. Caleb Goins walking the talk with Michael Watrang.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the newest edition of Talent Talk. Here with Caleb Goins, I'm Michael Watrang.
Lynch out of the pistol, takes the snap, sprints right, looks to throw, steps up into a hole, gets grabbed by Caleb Goins, and stopped for a loss back at the 25.
Rainy day, so let's get walking here. Caleb, what brought you to Carson-Newman in the first place?
What brought me here was just the atmosphere. It's decently close to home. I had some family from back then that came here actually, and they were kind of heavy on like, hey, you should go here, you should go here. And then obviously the football, I mean, it doesn't get much better than this.
What other schools did you consider?
I mean, you got the hometown, you got Emory and Henry that was close by, and you know, I wasn't heavily recruited out of high school. You know, I'm 5'11", wasn't very big. Not very many people are, you know, knocking down the door trying to get me to come there. So I had few options.
Freshman year, you redshirted. How much of a challenge was that for you to not be able to play?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, coming in, you obviously, you know, I knew I was going to redshirt probably, and then it happened, and of course, and then it was just getting on that physical grind and really challenging myself mentally to grow, learn, just to be a better man, and that obviously translated to the field.
Man in motion. It gets the handoff, and Caleb Goins will not let the motion man.
All right, let's switch it up for a second. Some fun facts. What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie? Oh man, this is a tough one. I like a lot of movies.
Give me a couple then.
I like Marvel movies. I like the Avengers. That's a good movie. I like Insidious, the scary movies. I love Insidious. Insidious 1, Insidious 2. Golly, there's just so many. I like them all.
There's a lot of good options.
Yeah.
What was the first concert you went to?
I don't think I've actually been to a concert.
Never been to a concert?
I've never been to a concert.
All right, well, that is a fun fact.
Yeah, that's a fun fact, yeah.
Last one for you. 3 people in all of history. You can fill out a dinner table. Who are you picking?
3 people in history. I'm going with Nick Saban. I'm going Mike Krzyzewski. And then third one's tough. I mean, I'm going with coaches here. I need to switch it up. Maybe The Rock.
The Rock.
Just to kind of like give another dynamic to it, you know?
I like it. How have you grown as a football player in person in your time playing here?
Man, this place challenges you. It challenges you mentally. It challenges you spiritually. Challenges you physically, obviously, and all of that. I mean, it teaches you how to be a man. It teaches you how to handle your business on the field. It teaches you how to handle your business off the field. And you know, Coach Clowney and before Coach Turner, but you know, they always do devotions and stuff like that, and that's really how I grew spiritually.
Last season was a tough year record-wise, but for you, it was a breakout season. How did you handle that dynamic?
I mean, it was fun playing. It was fun to get on the field and you know, make plays and stuff. But you know, it's tough losing. Nobody wants to lose. It was definitely difficult. But there's a reason I came back, because I believe in this place. I believe in this coaching staff, and I believe in my peers and what we can get done.
All right, last question for you. You mentioned coaches. Do you want to become a coach, or what's the future like for Caleb Gould?
Absolutely, I want to become a coach. easily. I want to college, anywhere. I love coaching. I love football.
Well, Caleb, thanks so much. We got to go get dry here. Thank you for the time. Absolutely. He's Caleb Goins. I'm Michael Watchring on this episode of Talent Talk.
All right, thank you very much, Michael. Mike Clowney, Caleb Goins, just kind of hanging around, and can't imagine a defense now without him on the field.
You know, he's a fun one because he's one of those underdog stories. You know, he comes in as a walk-on, not good enough to play, you know, probably frustrated. He's down on the scout team and not even getting reps there. But he put the work in. You know, he didn't let that discourage him. You know, he found the things that he was good at, found ways that he could help. You know, he's a super intelligent kid. And so he probably knows our defense better than some of our coaches. I mean, that's just not anything against our coaches, but it's just a testament to him. He's like, you know, the number one thing that he knew is he could come in, he could learn. You know, and, you know, once he figured out he could learn, if he learned, he can help. You know, if he can learn, he can help, then he can play. Yeah, and so he's a guy that, you know, is a figurehead for us. He makes sure that everybody's out there, gets lined up, and you watch him. You know, the safeties make most of our calls, but you can watch the volley and communication going back and forth because they do have some freedom to make decisions, and to be able to watch them communicate and make decisions on the field together, it's a really good situation to be in.
Interesting to see how that's developed too. I mean, typically when you say that about a linebacker, the Mike linebacker is always who comes to mind. Kind of, I don't know, bizarre, different to have it happen from one of your outside guys.
It is. And because, like I said, that's normally like the middle guy.
Yeah.
But we've kind of kicked that responsibility to him because he's capable of handling it.
That's not to take anything away from an Alonzo Houston or a DeAndre Williams, a Jake Cottle on the other side. All right, conference play, non-divisional play, new things that we have to talk about. You start with 3 straight of the crossover games with the Piedmont to open up SAC play, and it's Limestone who comes into town hot off a program record-setting win over St. Augustine's. Most points, most yards, second most rushing yards. The Saints clicked against St. Aug. What do you have to do to get ready for a familiar face, Mike Furry, back with the program?
Yeah, I mean, Mike Furry takes back over. You know, he's there, did a good job of kind of helping them get that program established. They obviously had a breakout win yesterday. I haven't watched the film yet, but I did go. I'm like, all right, all the scores today, and I'm like, oh my goodness, 74 points. I'm like, yeah, give us something better to work with than that. But wow, like I don't know what that's going to look like on tape, but it's hard to score 74 points against anybody.
Yeah. Improvements from this week that you look to build on against Limestone.
You know, I think still being able to kind of, you know, hear me, like consistency on offense. You know, we were able to find a little bit of footing, but we still have to make sure that we can, you know, nail a couple things down. You know, find those things that we really need to get better at and communicate those defensively. We still let a guy behind us a couple times in the game that, you know, we feel like we've got good enough guys on the perimeter to compete. You know, and them playing with the confidence to do that. You know, we gave up a couple things underneath that, you know, it's okay, but at the same time, there's points in time like, you know, it's third and short. We need to be able to compete and not give up those first downs.
Carson-Newman prevails over the Franklin Pierce Ravens. Mike Clowney, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Clowney. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier. This has been the Mike Clowney Show. Thanks for joining us.